अखंडमंडलाकारं व्याप्तं येन चरापदं दर्शितं येन तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः. श्री जगन्मातृके नमः. शारदांबाय नमः. I want to welcome all participants to our summer program for the Jnana Spandana, and we are having a series of talks, includes environmental responsibilities, building critical thinking and problem-solving skills, innovation, thinking, innovation, etiquette and good manners. We are also talking about some of the today and tomorrow. So we have a 2-day session, heavily packed with a lot of information, and all this work has been put together by many of our volunteer aunties and uncles here. Nanda auntie, Pratibha, Sri Ram uncle, and many, many more in the background with the support of Paramanna. And I would like to welcome Dr. Lakshmanan to say a few words and start the program for us. Thank you.
Good morning, Pratibha ji, Panaga ji, Param, Tyagarajan and friends. Welcome to the students. SVBF, thank you for joining this course. You children, you have made a great decision. Instead of spending time with your cell phone, you decided to come and take a course, join the youth camp. Youth camp that's being run with the blessings of Shardamba, the goddess of learning, and our Guruji, Acharyas. You have made a unique decision of joining the youth camp, not in OMCA or somewhere else, but decide to work, decide to join, decide to develop an understanding with Sringeri's blessing. That itself shows your leadership, your decision-making, willing to come and join and understanding your tradition and values. I strongly appreciate and I thank you for joining this course. And children, today's time, learning doesn't end with grade 12 or bachelor's or PhDs or any such courses. Learning is a process that happens continuously in life because you have to continuously educate yourself, obtain the skill, upskill yourself, where the market is changing all the time. So besides what you learn in school or college, mathematics and chemistry and physics and engineering, today's time, you have to upskill yourself all your career. So even at the age of 82, I'm still trying to learn what I couldn't learn in my early years, except with my age, I learned very slowly. But you children, with your fertile mind, you will learn very fast. And I'm glad, besides going to school, you have come to understand and learn from the youth camp, the soft skill. And it was so nicely said that the understanding is you are going to learn on innovation, on environment, risk management. These are all skills you don't normally get in the university itself. But the coming years, the knowledge society, whether you go to work for Google or Microsoft or anywhere else, the shelf life of technology is limited. It's not like you learning mathematics and that is there for you all the time. But some of the technology, whether digital or whatever it is, the shelf life is short. So you have to learn, you have to continuously engage yourself in learning. But as you learn, children, as I said, I'm 82, we also make mistakes. When President Kalam, former President Kalam, he was a project manager with ISRO, Indian Space Research Organization. He was working under, very eminent scientist, teacher, mentor, Professor Satish Dhawan. Satish Dhawan was the chairman of ISRO. And Satish Dhawan gave a project to late President Kalam when he was working in ISRO on missile on Agri program. As Dr. Kalam worked with his colleagues, on the first attempt, that program he failed. Not he, the team failed. But at that time, children, Satish Dhawan, who was the director of ISRO, he came forward and he took the responsibility in himself. That shows children the leadership. A leader who accepts failure, and also the next time he encouraged his team, Kalam and other people, to work together and make sure that, that they succeed. And in the follow-up programs, second time when they tested it, the program was a great success. At that time, children, Professor Satish Dhawan let Kalam come and face the media and everybody else. That shows that not alone the generosity is leadership, recognizing the talent, encouraging the staff, encouraging the colleagues. So as a team, when, for example, when Ashton Matthews scores a puck, it is not he scoring. The team, somebody is feeding the puck and he's scoring. So it is the teamwork. It's not like playing tennis. One guy, he just lobs or whatever it is. But in a teamwork, it is not when Edmonton was getting all the Stanley Cup medals for 6 years or 7 years. It was not Ben Gretzky who was responsible. It was the Paul Coffey and the whole team performed. So the Oilers were a great team. So keep in mind in life, it is very, very important that you work as a team, communicate with the team verbally as well as your skills in writing. So together, communication is very important. Communication is not, it's not taught as a topic in schools, but you learn it. You have joined this youth camp here. You'll be meeting a lot of new friends, and you'll be working with other colleagues and doing a project or whatever it is. And what is important in the coming years, the soft skill is very important. The degree you get in the university gets you a job. It is a ticket to the game. But what is very important, continuously learn yourself, upskill yourself is very important. And besides learning in formal education institution, the soft skill that you learn in management and team working, leadership, these things are very important in your life, children. And you have chosen Sringeri, the seat of learning, as the place for you to learn. And you got eminent teachers, Pratibha and Panagar have put a great team together. Please make sure that you learn whatever you get with the Shraddha and Vairagya. It's very important. You motivate yourself, you focus, and make sure that you pay attention and you learn it together. But if you fail, don't think that you failed yourself. Failing is only first attempt in learning. So just don't feel disheartened if you make mistakes. I'm 82. I'm still making a lot of mistakes. I've got good mentors and teachers like Param and Tyagarajan and other people in our board who helps to periodically tell what is right and what is wrong. So we keep learning all the time, children. So what is very important, as I said earlier, you also should learn, as Professor Dhawan did, when success comes, understand you need to share with other people. In life, what is also very important is recognizing the fellow workers, the other participants, and make sure that you learn, you give recognition, learning to give. Nobody teaches, there's no school to teach you how to give. You learn the skill to earn your groceries, but learning to give, coming to places like Sringeri, you understand giving. Giving not only money, but giving time. Being Sringeri, we need youth, we need volunteers. There are a lot of senior people helping. They've got leaders like Pratibhaji, Panagaji, and other people helping us. And we want you children come and participate, give your time, volunteer. Panagaji said about the environment. Environment is a major topic. In SVBF, we have got a program on environment. You youth, you take the leadership and help us. The oldies have made mistakes and created the worst dumps and waste dumps and all that. New children come and tell us how to minimize creating the waste. So I really would like you children coming and participating, working in SVBF, helping us to help the community and learn to give time, learn to work with your friends, and make sure that SVBF is a great institution with you for years to come. So help us to help the community children enjoy this youth camp, have fun, and make new friends. And life is a long journey. So you made the right, a good choice doing the attending the youth camp. Continue to enjoy, learn new skills, and be successful in whatever you are doing. Now, God bless you. Have fun, enjoy. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much for your Ashirvachanam and blessing the kids and educating the kids about the importance of volunteering and taking part. Thank
Thank you.
you very much for your today and starting the program.
Thanks, Panagaji. Thanks for all your help and with your fellow workers. Really appreciate you spending your time helping us to work with the children. Thanks for your leadership, you and Pratibha ji and Krishna and other people. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Right. So the first program, let us start. I have a keynote speaker who's Professor Narayan, who is from the environmental impact. He's going to talk to us about environmental global impact. So I will play a video, and this is very nicely said. And he's very passionate about the environment and passionate about educating our environment and importance of the environment. Let's hear from Professor Narayananji.
Narayanan Nethalat. I'm a professor of structural engineering and materials at Arizona State University.
Do you want to increase the volume on your side?
Of this event for giving me an opportunity to talk. And I'm going to talk about climate and sustainability because it's some of the most important topics that you will hear in this day and age. We are talking about a lot about climate change. Sustainability is a very important idea that we all should embrace in order to make sure that there is people, planet, and prosperity, and all those three can coexist. So I'm going to give you, again, this is such a vast topic. I'm not going to be able to cover even a very tiny fraction of it in 10 minutes or so. But what I'm going to do is to give you a flavor for some of the very key, very important topics in this area. So what do we mean by sustainability? Like I said, people, planet, and prosperity. Sometimes prosperity is defined by profits. It's a rather narrow definition, but still we will take it for the time being just to mean economics. So we have people, the social variables that deals with everything that people do with education, the community, health, well-being, all of that. There is planet, everything related to earth, water, air, natural resources, energy, land use, all of that. And then we use the people's power on the environment to create resources and profit out of it, right? So what we do is we try to maximize profit. Most of your industries, your economics 101 would tell you that you should maximize profits. But what maximizing profits does is sometimes overuse both the people aspect and the planet aspect. How do we balance? Of course, there is prosperity that we need, but how do we balance the people aspect and the planet aspect? Make it bearable, make it equitable, make it sustainable. That's the whole idea of sustainability. Just to give you an idea, historically, food was gathered or grown without pesticides. Now, Food is grown with pesticides and mass produced in factories because the consumption has grown so high. Water came from a clean source like river in the past. Now water supplies are strained. If you live in parts of the world where there is very acute shortage of water supply, you will know the stresses that such a demand of water places on different communities. Shelter was modest, often providing living quarters for an extended group of families, joint families, large groups of families living together under one roof, utilizing resources in a very equitable manner. Now we have large houses with very few people living in such large houses, and using a lot more of resources. So are we sustainable in that sense? Now there's lots of ground to cover, but I will just focus on a very few, on maybe just one aspect of what we talk about sustainability in the big picture. So here are 17 sustainable development goals put forward by the United Nations. I mean, you can look at it. There are so many different things. There is poverty, hunger, health, all of that. But I will just look at number 7, which is on energy. Number 9, that is on industry, innovation, and infrastructure. So lots of other things are there. Responsible consumption, production, clean water, peace, justice, strong institutions. Again, like remember, people, planet, prosperity. So all the different thematic areas that fall under people, planet, and prosperity are part of the sustainable development goals. Just to give you a World Economic Forum's outlook, what will society be like in 2030? This is a very idealistic scenario. This is what they think they want. Mobility will get around in shared electric cars, equipped with algorithms that optimize a route to reduce consumption. We'll eat more fruit and vegetables and less meat, fish, and dairy products. We will not consume single-use plastics. We will use sustainable products, paper, and such things that are biodegradable. We will plan our communities in such a way that renewable energy is there. We do a lot of gardening and vegetation there on rooftops and on the streets. And we will reduce livestock farming that has a positive effect on restoration and free up land for more cultivation. This is again an idealistic scenario. You see the number of moving parts in this puzzle, right? To get something like this, there has to be a concerted effort. But let me change gears and show you some other important facts. I mean, these are things that we all can contribute, we all can do a little bit of, but let me give you the big picture of where it is. So here is greenhouse gas emissions. And when we talk about sustainability, one of the most important things that you deal with is carbon emissions, carbon dioxide emissions. How much of carbon dioxide are we throwing out in the environment that causes warming of the planet, melting of the ice sheets, droughts that happen in one place, flooding that happens in another place, extreme amounts of rains, extreme amounts of droughts, wildfires. You're seeing this all over the world now. So if you look at greenhouse gas emissions by industry, again, we just look at industrial greenhouse gas emissions, you will see iron and steel, chemicals and plastics, cement, aluminum, all of these dominating the landscape of greenhouse gas emissions by industry, right? This, you see a lot of greenhouse gas emissions with these industries. Now, if you look by economic sector, industry is key, and that's why I did this with different industries in this picture. So industry gives you lots of direct emissions and then indirect emissions due to emissions from electricity and heat production, because you use fossil fuels to heat those things up. So there's lots of emissions associated with different types of industries. Now, why is that important? We are in that stage where we cannot live without these facilities, right? We cannot live with an infrastructure that lets us travel from one place to another very, very fast, whether it's the roads, the airports. We cannot live with structures that or infrastructure that gives us electricity and gives us water. We again, transportation, we need buildings to live and work and operate, all of that, habitats and work facilities. We need all of that. It's not going to happen without this. Now, and then we have lots of these industries, whether it's steel, whether it's cement, whether it's power, we have lots of these industries manufacturing things that we need to keep the standard of living like I showed here. The good buildings and houses that you have, the good water infrastructure that you have, the transportation infrastructure that we rely on for so many different things. All of this is impossible without these kinds of industries. But then these industries are spewing out a lot of carbon dioxide. Right? All these industries, pipes, water transport. Here is a wastewater treatment plant. We need such industries. We need our wastewater to be treated. Otherwise, we will be living in filth. We don't want that. We want fresh water supply into our deserts now, where people have inhabited in very large numbers, and we need systems to carry that water around. So, the infrastructure systems and the climate and what we see are so thoroughly interlinked in this day and age. It's very, very hard to decouple them, right? Some numbers. China recently built what's called the Three Gorges Dam in the Yangtze River with 27.2 million cubic meters of concrete. If you are soccer fans, that is enough to fill 450 Maracana stadiums. Remember, 450 Maracana stadiums. And if you've watched soccer, you will see the size of one stadium. I'll just put that here. And this is a Three Gorges Dam. And the construction sector, if you just look at construction, and all of us see construction all around, right? When you drive through the road, they're building something on the side. When you are flying, airport, there is some construction going on. With all the housing market that's up, houses are being built. The construction sector alone will emit 470 billion tons of carbon dioxide by 2050. From now to 2050, you're looking at 470 billion. Just to give you the context, the amount of carbon dioxide we added from 1850 to 1999 in 150 years was 1,000 billion tons. We are doing almost half of that in the next 30 or 40 years. Think about the gravity of the situation, right? And our carbon budget, how much can we put into the atmosphere, how much carbon dioxide can we put into the atmosphere to ensure that we don't exceed the global temperature by 1.5 degrees Celsius. And I'm sure all of you have seen these numbers. If not, talk to your parents, talk to friends, talk to adults, and find out what these numbers mean. The Paris Climate Accord has set a limit of 1.5 degrees Celsius for the planet to warm. We cannot warm more than 1.5 degrees Celsius from what the temperature was in the early 1900s. So we have an upper limit that we cannot exceed, because if temperature goes high, you will have flooding of oceans, flooding of rivers. Whole cities that are along the banks of oceans and rivers will get evaporated. This excess amount of heat will create wildfires, will create extreme heat, will create drought. It will effectively end the way we live now. So it's very, very critical that we think about carbon. I'll give you a few other examples. But then these are not very easy emissions to eliminate, right? Because like I said, we use carbon dioxide, or we emit carbon dioxide in pretty much every industry that influence our everyday life. Whether it is steel, whether it is cement, whether it's food, whether it's petrochemicals, whether it's chemicals, lots of those are there. Now, if you look at this picture here, this is the difficult to eliminate emissions, right? Iron and steel, cement, variable electricity from different sources, aviation, shipping, long distance road transport. Think about it. Can you live without any of those? And these are our emissions that are very hard to eliminate. I'm not going to give you solutions in this 10-minute talk. There are several different solutions that researchers are doing and we can think about, but I'm just going to give you the problem statement to start to make all of you think about where we are going and what this actually means to our planet. If you just look at the building industry, right? Building materials account for about 90% of the carbon emissions in that sector. And then if you look at different types of materials, of concrete, glass, aluminum, wood, steel, PVC, polyethylene, look at the carbon impact. So lots of embodied carbon dioxide, lots of embodied energy in plastics and glass, lost in steel, So there's lots of CO2 and energy in buildings, right? If you look at countries, now if you want to make a little more distinction of what countries do what, if you look at from what was it, 1715 to 2020, so 270 years of industrialization effectively. Look at United States. A quarter of the world's carbon dioxide has been emitted by one country, right? Of course, now US wants to cut back. But the other countries are saying, look, you emitted all your share. Why should we cut down now when we are industrializing and our people are progressing at a faster rate? Logical question. But then those arguments are not going to be sitting there and waiting to be made because global temperature is increasing. We need to stop it somewhere. China, 13.9. Lots of this coming in the last 30, 40, 50 years. There is India here, 2.3% and ever increasing because of how quickly all these purple colors are where the countries which are really the Asian countries which are really thriving and doing a lot of greenhouse gas emissions. So you will see this megatons of CO2 that countries are emitting. And if you do it now, China will be first, India will be second, US will be second, third somewhere. So again, you don't see Canada here. Canada doesn't do much of carbon emitting, but that does not mean that Canada is insulated from all of that, right? This is a global phenomena. There is no country that's insulated. Some things that you can do to reduce net embodied carbon by 2050. Again, you need government to do what it is supposed to. We need investors to do what they're supposed to. Developers, designers. This has to be across the spectrum. This cannot be done with one set of people. You have to do it across the spectrum, right? So, how do we define sustainability measures? At least from the industrial CO2 emission point of view, how do we control? So, a lot of it is utilization and reuse. A lot of it is, for example, steel. How much more can we reuse steel? Cement can't be really reused, but how much concrete can we recycle and reuse? How much can we reduce the amount of material that's extracted and maximize the production? How do we make production processes more efficient? How do we transport things more efficiently? So it deals with the entire life cycle, entire system of extraction all the way to the end. And this is wonderfully depicted in what is called life cycle analysis. And nowadays, everybody does these kind of analysis before putting a product out to the market, before figuring out what they should do, all of that. So if you start from raw materials, right? Raw materials need energy, need water, need lots of resources. And then they need to be extracted from the ground wherever they are. They need to be processed. And when the materials get processed, somebody has to design what needs to be manufactured as a final product. That manufacturing thing has to be distributed, used. After some time, the use will finish off. You will throw them again, dispose them again. That's a waste. Lots of waste. What is that waste doing now? Affecting land, water, and air, right? So it's affecting the planet in all bad ways. So we need to look at a complete life cycle as to if I dredge a ton of material from earth, how much of energy has gone into dredging that ton of material? How much of CO2 has that energy use produced? How is that ton of material going to be processed to be of use to somebody? How much of energy and carbon dioxide has gone into that production process? Who is going to use it? How long is it going to be used? When it disposes, what are the effects on the land, water, and air? And are there any parts of this product that can be reused and put back into the production process, right? So that we can reduce the amount of materials. And it's a very simplistic picture here, but the real world life cycle analysis is terribly complex because the systems are so interconnected. You talk about one part, but that has so many different elements to it. But just to give you a big picture idea, sustainability measures need to be taken care of effectively. And finally, circular economy, the idea that I talked about, all the way from exploration, all the way to use, reuse, and recycling. We should take care of waste in all forms in a very efficient manner. And once you can use all of those waste materials, bring that back into products and processes, then you can really call it a circular economy. So just to give you finally 5 themes that I want to talk about, what are the pathways to a sustainable future, right? Like I said, people, very important. Big data, again, you must be hearing a lot about big data now. How do we use those data that's out there to help sustainability? Technology obviously is very, very critical. The amount of value that you generate, again, in terms of profitability or prosperity that I talked about. Collaboration, teamwork, very, very important. And then resilience, how resilient are the systems that we make. And therefore, we have to anticipate the future. We have to ensure that both people and the planet are kept nutritious. The benefits have to be shared. This is not a zero-sum game. Inspire the next generation of people to do it, because sustainability is looked upon as something where we leave the planet better than what we got for our future generation. And therefore, all of us will have to be inspired, and we all will have to join forces to make sure that this happens in a very sustainable way. Again, this is a very, very big, broad overview picture, but what I wanted to give you was basically an overview of what sustainability means, and more specifically from the view of industrial production, and from the point of view of how do we reduce the resources that we use. Thank you very much, and it was very nice talking to all of you. Thank you.
That was a very, very informative and useful presentation by Professor Narayan Nethalat. Good morning, everyone. My name is Nanda. I am a part of the organizing team. I work with Pratibha Panaga, who has taken initiative to put up this Jnana Spandana program for you all, and with Sriram ji, and we all work under the guidance of Sri Ravi Shankar and, of course, Param ji. So let me give a little bit of intro for Professor Narayanan Nethalat. As you all know, you might have seen the slides. He's a professor of structural engineering and materials at Arizona State University. He obtained his PhD from Purdue University and has been active in researching sustainable technologies for the built infrastructure for over 2 decades. An innovator of several novel and sustainable material technologies for buildings, bridges. Being so, he has published more than 250 papers in various international publications. So you can see the volume on depth of the knowledge that he has. And this is like a brief summation of what he could do to all of you. So I hope you enjoyed the presentation and picked up important points from this presentation. And you all have been given the booklets of the 2 sessions that's going to happen tomorrow as well. So please make use of these for your future use. And you are going to get introduced to more speakers who are giving you a lot of information, not just with one topic, several topics. So, and then you have several activities, fun-filled presentations as well, and then some serious thinking and some activities conducted by our own Pratibha. So next, moving up today, we will have you all introduce yourself, which will be handled by Pratibha. I would call upon Pratibha to take up this, and it's like an icebreaker. And so get ready, guys. Wake up fully now because Pratibha is going to make you speak about your hobbies, about your superpowers, if you have any. So the special qualities that you have. So come out of your shy zone. This is the time to interact. So Pratibha, over to you.
Thank you, Nanda. Good morning, everyone. I hope everyone's doing well on a gloomy, rainy day. We'll try our best. I don't know how it's like, the weather's like where you are, but at least in Toronto, where I am, when I look outside the window, it's windy and gloomy. But I believe all of us together trying to be upbeat and cheerful, we can beat the gloomy weather that's outside. That being said, once again, a warm welcome to all of you. And now I just got distracted looking at the chat that Ravi mentioned. It's beautiful here in Mississauga. So for those of you enjoying the beautiful weather, share the sunshine with the rest of us who need it. With that being said, let's just go through a quick round of introduction. And I think you would have seen that in the email that was sent out yesterday. So here, we would love to do this in person, but then we can do this virtually. So quickly, I'll call upon the names, take turns, share your, details and a one-liner about your superpower. What do you think is your superpower? And I really hope you all got a chance to look at Ma Durga's superpower. I'm sure all of us have that within us as well. We just need to realize that. With that being said, I see here Sumit on my screen. So Sumit, sorry to put you on the spotlight to start with. And thanks for keeping the video on. And a kind request. I know some of you might be camera shy. Some of you might be crowd shy. But if you really can, I would greatly appreciate if you can turn on the video, because it's a lot more easier to interact and associate once you see the face. Otherwise, it's just a voice behind the name. If you're not comfortable, we understand, but if you can, that would be fantastic. So with that, I will bounce it off to you, Sumit. Go ahead.
Do we just share a name and a superpower?
Yes, please.
Like a skill?
Anything that you think is really cool. It could be your hobbies. It could be what you're really good at, like if you're good at basketball or singing, chess, anything that you think is something unique to you.
Hi, my name is Samit. I'm 13 and I can solve a Rubik's Cube in roughly 15 seconds.
Fantastic. And thank you, Sumit. And then I see Haripriya here on the tile.
Hi, my name is Haripriya and I'm 14 years old, and I'd say my superpower is that I really like reading, and I've written multiple stories and published them as well.
Cool. Thank you, Haripriya. Yes, I remember reading some of your articles in Jnana Parampara, our youth magazine as well. Thank you. And next I see Uttara. Hello, Uttara.
Hello, namaskara. I am Uttara. I'm 16 years old, and I would say my superpowers are paintings. Here are some of the paintings that I did, and yeah.
Cool. And next, Aditya. Unmute yourself, please, and
My name's Aditya.
go ahead.
My name's Aditya. I'm 15 years old and I've been playing the piano for 7-8 years.
Nice, interesting. And I would next call upon Aditya Pai.
I think Aditya Pai spoke just now. It was Aditya Pai who
No.
spoke, if I'm correct.
I think it's the other
Oh,
Aditya, not sure. Okay. And then I will bounce
can
it off to
Aditya
Anna.
make clear? Aditya and Aditya, can one of you make it clear to us who spoke it?
I think it was the other Aditya.
All right. Okay. So
Okay,
Aditya Pai
we
again.
have a lot. We have quite few Adityas here. And in that case, Aditya Kumar, would you like to go next? And please, can you please turn on the video, at least while introducing yourself? And I will go ahead and pin. Yep.
Namaste everyone. My name is Aditya. I'm 11 years old and I play for soccer team called Clarkson, and I've started playing soccer ever since I was 4.
Cool. Nice. We are gunners at home, Aditya. So, go soccer. And Yash, welcome. And please unmute yourself. And if you can turn on the video, cool. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Yash. I'm 12 years old. And I think my superpower is drawing because I've been drawing since I was like really young.
Nice, interesting. And we have another Yash. So I would like to call the other Yash. Yash,
hello.
Hi.
Hello, my name is Yash. I guess one of my hobbies or superpowers is playing saxophone or playing basketball.
Oh, nice. Are you a Raptors fan?
Yeah, yeah, that's basically.
Okay. And next, Amani. Welcome, Amani. You there? All right, we can come back to Amani in a bit. Manish, please, if you can unmute yourself and introduce.
My camera is not working.
That's okay. Thank you. Thanks for trying.
Yeah, sorry. It's not working. But my name is Manish and I'm 12 years old and I like playing the guitar and piano.
Interesting. And Srinath, do you want to go next? You there, Srinath? Okay. All right, then we'll come back to you. Thanks for letting us know. Ayush Kannan, please, if you want to go next.
Can you guys see me?
Yes, we can. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Ayush. I'm 12 and my superpower is playing basketball.
Nice. And then I see Arjun next here. Hi, Arjun.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you and we can also see you. Thank you.
I would say my superpower is coding, playing soccer, and playing piano.
Interesting. And whom do I see next here is Soumya. Do you want to go next?
Hi, my name is Soumya. I'm 14 and I like to draw.
Thank you, Soumya. Naina?
Hi, my name is Naina. I'm 15 and I'd say my superpower would be the performing arts.
Nice. What kind of performing arts are you into?
Dance and music.
Lovely. Like vocal or instrument?
Both.
Oh, fantastic. That's nice. Thank you. And I then see here Utpala. Do you want to go next with the Utpala?
Yeah. Hello, I'm Utpala Balakrishnan. I'm 14. I enjoy playing the piano and I play basketball and badminton too.
Nice. I remember listening to your piano performance in one of our open mic event last year, and that was fantastic. Thank you. And next I see here Lakshmi. Hi, Lakshmi. Lakshmi Sriram. Do you want to go next?
Hello, can you see me?
Yes. Thank
Okay,
you.
so my name is Lakshmi. I am 13 years old, and I think my superpower would be playing the piano, singing, and drawing.
Cool. And also organizing a lot of events, right, that you do at SVBF. I think that's a really cool superpower as well. And I see next here Arangan.
Can you see me?
Yes, we can hear and see you. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Arangan. I'm 13. I'd say my superpower is playing basketball. I do vocal and also play mridangam, which is an instrument.
Cool. We have a lot of basketball players here. I think the next time we all meet, we should play a game of basketball. And I have a special, preference for basketball because I used to be a professional basketball player and I used to play for my state in India. So I would love to play a game the next time all of us meet. And that being said, I next see Atmika. Do you want to go next, Atmika?
Hi, my name is Atmika, I'm 14 years old, and I'd say my superpower is playing the piano or drawing.
Thank you. And Anirudh, would you like to go next?
Yeah. Namaste, everyone. My name is Anirudh. I'm 15, and I play ice hockey.
Oh, wow. That's interesting. Cool. And then I see another Anirudh Gurur. Do you want to go next?
I don't mind. Namaskar Galu. My name is Anirudh. I'm 17. And I'd say my superpower is being a jack of all trades. I can do a lot of things, but I'm a master of none. But that's okay.
Yeah. Interesting. I think once after this event is over, I would love to know all the different things that you have attempted. That will be interesting. Yeah. Thank you, Anirudh. And Ananya, would you like to go next? And I don't know if you and Aditya are together. Both of you want to go one after another?
No, he's in a different room.
Okay, got it. Okay, cool. Go ahead, please.
Hi, I'm Ananya. I'm 13. And I would say my superpower is that I can read really fast and comprehend really fast.
Wow, that's nice. So you can devour books.
Sorry?
You can devour books.
Yeah.
Nice. And Abhigna, would you like to go next?
Hi, my name is Abhigna. I'm 13. And my superpower is probably sketching or ice skating.
Interesting. Thank you. And Kavya, would you like to go next?
Okay. Namaskara. My name is Kavya Hekte. I'm currently going to grade 11, and some of my hobbies are hiking, biking, dance, piano, and taekwondo. And I also do a lot of artwork, and I also do a lot of social work.
Cool. Thank you, Kavya. So good to have you again. And Chetana, would you like to go next, please?
Hi, my name is Rohit, and my superpower is I can play chess.
Cool. Thank you, Rohit. And sorry, I called out on the name that's on the screen. Sorry about that. And then I see Nidhi. Do you want to go next, Nidhi?
Just letting you know, if you're on the video, I'll be able to put you on the screen. Okay, perfect.
My name is Nidhi, and I guess my superpower is like doing dances like Bharatanatyam. I've done it since I was like 6 years old, so.
Thank you, Nidhi. Pranav, would you want to unmute and introduce yourself?
My name is Pranav, and I'm 16 years old, and my superpower would be I can play a lot of sports: table tennis, badminton, volleyball, soccer, basketball, squash, and I can also throw a disc, like play discus, I guess.
Interesting. Thank you, Pranav. And I next see Puranik. If you could go next, please.
Me?
Can you please unmute Puranik? In case if you're speaking, you're on mute. Okay, we'll come back to you in a bit. Then Rohan, would you want to go next, please? You there, Rohan? Okay, cool. Do you want to put it on the chat in case so I can read it for others? And while Rohan is trying to type, I just want to, try once again with Amani, Atmika, and Manish, since we couldn't hear from you earlier. Okay, so Rohan says he is 12 and his superpower is ice skating. Cool. Awesome, Rohan. Thank you. And others, do you want to text? Do you want to leave a chat in case if you are not able to speak? But if you're having trouble with mic, I would recommend during the break to see if you can get that fixed. It'll help it. It'll make it easier to interact. Cool. Okay, that's okay, Manish. But if your mic is working, you can go ahead. And thank you, Amani. Amani says she can skateboard. That's cool. All right, I think we have got introductions from everyone. And Atmika, Stuti, I see you now here. I think we missed. Do you want to go next, Stuti? Thanks for turning on the video. Do you want to go next?
Sure. My name is Stuti. I'm from Michigan. I'm visiting Canada. And I'd say my superpower is doing competitive swimming.
Cool. Interesting. I am so impressed and mesmerized by all the superpowers you guys have got. It's really cool. And it makes me feel so proud of the talent that we have within our community. And imagine all of us coming together and setting up a team representing our temple. That could be in terms of, sports or art, music coming together. That'll be amazing. And thank you all for taking time to introduce yourself. With that, oh, thank you, Atmika, sorry. With that being said, I will then pass it on to Panaga. And thanks all for introducing yourself. In case someone else joins later, please feel free to drop a note on the chat introducing yourself. And once again, sorry, I sound like a broken record, but please turn on the video. It's a lot more easier for us to relate, associate a face with a name. Thank you.
Thank you, Pratibha. That was, I think, information overloaded for me. So, because it is very, very a delightful thing to see our young delegates of today's session who have come here with all the excitement, gave us so much information about themselves. Like self-introduction was quite a bit. They have a lot of superpowers, I believe, as you said. Some of them basketball, some of them soccer, some say piano, a lot of pianists, and then some vocal, some performing arts, and whatnot. So if everyone has been covered, I know some people couldn't come up on the video mode, and some of them have texted. If anybody has been left out, because there are so many windows, it happens in Zoom sessions. So please feel free Open the chat. Even if the cameras don't work, please write down. Chat line is always open, okay? So you could write and we can just read out loud so everybody knows about you. Warm welcome to you all again. And let me introduce the person who introduced you all. Because I just said Pratibha, who is in the organizing team. Do we know more about her? Or some people might not be knowing who she is. So it's my duty now to tell more about Pratibha. Already you have seen that she is an enthusiastic speaker and a very fun-loving lady, young and enthusiastic, person who works with SVBF, very closely connected to adults and kids. And she was a professional basketball player, that she has already said. So one day, hopefully, we get to see her in action mode. And there are many youth here who can, accompany you, Pratibha. She's an active volunteer for a number of years and has taken many initiatives in SVBF in her young age. She runs the youth newsletter program at SVBF. This is under Jnana Parampara, just like we have Gnana Spandana today. And apart from her, regular job, household work, and she has a small kid, she has spent a lot of hours mentoring the youth to write down quality content and then deliver the newsletter. In this process, she focuses on teaching them task management, and her skills are always, impressive, and our youth can take up a lot from her. So that gives information about Pratibha. And moving on, we have wonderful presentation coming up from Sriramji. And this is, and also from Anup Sridhara. This is on environmental responsibility at SVBF. So let me talk a little bit about Sriramji and Anoopji before going to the slide presentation, which is ready, and Panaga auntie will show you all, as I know you're all eager to gain some information. Have some notepads or just make notes in your computer. You do get the booklets, as I said. And should you have any questions, please feel free to type them in chat line. And if you get the questions later on after the presentations are done or the program is over, no regrets. You can just write down email to gnanaspandana@gmail.com. You can write on WhatsApp group that we have, Gnanaspandana WhatsApp. So feel free. And all our keynote speakers are very happy, more than happy to get back to you with all the answers for your questions and queries. Okay. So saying that, Sriram Gopalakrishnan is his full name. He's a senior director at a leading IT services company in North America. His role involves with working with the leading retailers and consumer goods companies in the area of digital technology. An engineer with a management degree, Sriramji has been a speaker at many IT conferences. So this is just one of them. He is also an active volunteer at SVBF. Those who are closely connected to SVBF might have seen him or might have already interacted with him, and its environmental action group. And another speaker who has jointly worked with him is Anup Sridhara. As you can see now. Hi, Anup. Good to see you here. Anup was working in US, and he has moved to Canada just 3 years ago. But though it is just 3 years here, he has been, he has developed a lot of interest in eco-living and sustainable practices. And he applies eco-friendly living in all aspects of life. And I have witnessed this too, so I know him very well. And you should, all these young youth, I just say that you have a lot to take up from him, because he's not a person who just speaks and gives lectures or writes, and he actually implements them. How he can talk more, maybe some other time whenever you get to meet him in other format with SVBF activities or in person. Okay, so he too is excited to be a part of SVBF, work for the Jnana, that is the heritage group, and volunteers in his free hours, and he promotes sustainable living practices, which is very essential, as we have seen. So going to the presentation, Panaga, would you start the video show? Thank you.
Yeah, thanks a lot. Thanks a lot, Nanda, for that introduction. Anup, feel free to chime in and join me. Thanks for being on the presentation again. So before I start off, I mean, the energy I see here in this forum, it's really invigorating. A lot of youngsters with a lot of talents. It's amazing to be with all of you. Some of you I might have interacted, or I might be interacting in different other forums, but a group of about 45 people is amazing. And just want to, before I get into the environment stewardship, which I'm going to speak about, what are we doing at SVBF, before I get into the presentation, just a few things from what I heard from the previous speakers, starting from Lakshmanji. It's all about learning. Lakshmanji underlined it in his welcome speech. Learning is continuous, and all of us here who are organizing this event for you, children, we are living examples of continuous learning in our lives and in our careers. And in this forum, I'm learning along with you. I mean, one of the reasons why I chose to speak is because I can learn. So amazing. And one thing I have seen from my own experience is that given all the avenues that we have, like Lakshmanji said, formal learning we get in school only goes so far. What we learn outside of it probably completes the circle. And in my view, we are the only limit for ourselves. We are our own limits. There is nothing else. So if you want to go full stretch, it's our choice with what is available to us. So please remember that, and congratulations to all of you for choosing to be in this camp, learning and exploring while you could have been doing something else. Congratulations to all of you. I'm hoping proves to be worthwhile. And one thing I took away from Professor Narayanan's session today, and by the way, Professor Narayanan gave an amazing lecture. I'm privileged to have been his classmate during engineering. I know him from very close quarters, and I really thank him for choosing to speak at this event and giving us an amazing world perspective on climate and sustainability. And he's an expert. As you would have seen, he has published more than 250 papers, and he speaks at various events. So he touched upon a lot on how important sustainability is from a global standpoint. If for a minute we think we are out of it, we cannot be more wrong, right? We are totally wrong if we think I have nothing to do here. And again, one of the reasons why I took up this topic, and I am passionate about environment, and this is thanks to Anup Sridhara, because I took a plunge when he, Nanda said, he's one who doesn't just believe in talking and writing, but he actually believes in doing stuff. He started this environment action group, and I said, if there is one thing that I would invest my personal time, which is worth it, it is going to be contributing to sustainability in any small way we can. So the topic of my presentation today, or our presentation between me and Anup, is about what are we doing at SVBF from a sustainability standpoint, because Narayanan gave an industry perspective. And if you observe some of his points, he sets 5 things, right? All of us have to do something, like government, investors, manufacturers, NGOs, but at the base of it all, it's us as individuals, right? Us as individuals have to do something. And then Narayanan also touched upon reuse. A couple of things that he said. What can we do is about reuse, recycling materials, life cycle analysis. Before you do something, think about the repercussions, like full stretch, right? From you decide to drive to a place, how much are you going to burn? Can you substitute that with something else? Can you walk? Can you cycle? So all of that you got to think before you take that action. And waste management, right? How efficiently you. So there are simple things, and this lecture is all about that. So first of all, it's commendable that SVBF as an organization has put forth a vision to promote better living, better and responsible living within the communities. So kudos to the SVBF leadership for taking that decision. And that's how Environment Action Group was born. And thanks to Anup to lead that. And again, if you think, I mean, all we are doing here is promote the values and principles of Sanatana Dharma, as you will see, if we move to the next slide. So, can I drive the slides myself or do I have to? Yeah, okay, thank you. So SVBF has a lot of forums and chapters to promote responsible living. And some of them, a few of them are we'll talk more about this as we go in this class, but heritage classes, you might have, some of you may already be part of Purna Vidya, Jnana Spandana, Jnana Parampara. There are heritage classes and sessions. Environment Action Group that exclusively focuses on sustainable living and sustainable business. And then there is a SVBF working group that does gardening, cleaning, garbage collection and all of that. And so these are some of the forums and chapters under SVBF that you can be part of. You go to the next slide. So if you think that, hey, this is all new stuff, why are we talking about it? Probably not quite. Our Vedas and Sanatana Dharma has had a lot of focus on responsible living. It is already documented. How we should live our lives in harmony with nature is already documented in the Vedas. So some of them, I mean, you may know that what should be the relationship between man and nature. It's already documented. So what we are doing and is we are not inventing anything. We are just following what is already said in our Vedas. The reason why we are now in a defensive mode and trying to do course correction is because we did not, in the past, we did not live by the principles. We deviated, and now we are paying a price, and we are trying to come back and do all of this, promoting the sustainable living thing and all of that, because we are deviated at some point. So it's very important to have that perspective in mind. Some of them, I'll give an example. Ahimsa, right? Ahimsa is a principle that's documented, and you hear that in all of the Puranas and Vedas and Upanishads. Like, how do you not injure or hurt any living being or even non-living being, right? Right from cutting trees, killing animals, etc., etc. We worship and revere all our rivers, like all water bodies are revered. We always do puja, like Ganga, Yamuna, Saraswati, not just these holy rivers, even water at home. We treat it and we don't waste it, right? We worship trees, we don't cut, especially when a tree is in full bloom or is giving you fruits. We respect it and we don't cut such trees. We always maintain that harmony. And we worship mountains like Himalayas, Sakya, Vindhya, and name it, right? I mean, and so that shows that we treat all the 5 elements of nature, like air, water, space, land, all of fire, all of them, we treat them as God. So it's already ingrained in our Vedic culture. Go to the next slide. Okay, so I mean, so if you there are various verses and quotes that I can narrate from our Vedas and Puranas, but one notable one that I quoted here was from Rigveda, that says that sky is like the father, earth is like the mother, and space is their son, right? So that's a very commendable, and we have quote, something that we can remember. And then Vedas also remind us of Pancha Mahayajna. Some of you might have learned about it in heritage classes. 5 sacrifices, right? What do we do? And we got to be responsible towards these 5 elements, and the result will be absolute harmony. So it actually takes the principle of harmony and sustainability, not just from a physical sense. Vedas actually take it a few levels up. It's not just about being physical. It's all about how do you harmonize the physical elements with mind, body, society, atmosphere, and everything that you see around you. So Vedas already, I mean, so whenever we have a chance, like as youngsters, as youth, whenever you have a chance to explore these through the different forums that I said, please do take that opportunity. So now let's, in specific terms, let's look at what are we doing from a sustainability standpoint at SVBF, right? Let me narrate a few examples of what we have done so far. We have been running a lot of awareness campaigns. So we put up posters. If you have observed the premises around SVBF, you might have seen that there are posters all around SVBF that remind us that as a community, we are responsible for sustainability, like stuff like bring your own bags, practice and promote sustainable living. Let's be responsible, bring your own water bottles. Let's reduce the use of single-use plastics. In the washrooms, you might have seen stickers and posters around, use hand dryer whenever you can and reduce the use of the paper tissues. Bring your own paper bags or cloth bags, right? Rather than asking for plastic bags either at the temple or in the shops that you go to. So we have been running these awareness campaigns with participation from a lot of youth, right? So that's the first thing. And we have conducted Earth Day event at SVBF. Hope all of you know, some of you might have participated in some of these events where we make sure that people are aware of the Earth Day. We take responsibility, to contribute to Earth Day. We switch off lights for a couple of minutes or seconds at our home, in the temple. And then, we have brought guest speakers like Mr. Colin Love, and our own Anup Sridhara has spoken in these Earth Day events at SVBF. We conduct different quizzes to raise awareness about environment and sustainability, and that will continue. It was not a one-off thing. Pandemic may have probably posed some challenges, but we intend to continue these sessions in SVBF, right? So that's the second thing that we do as part of the Environment Action Group. If you have observed, has there been a transformation around SVBF? And if you have observed, there have been many transformations. One of the most notable transformations have been the garden, right? If you look at it, how it was like a couple of years ago versus how it is today, like maybe about 2 years ago versus how it is today, it's totally transformed. And thanks to Mysore Jairam, who actually leads that effort, and a bunch of enthusiastic volunteers who work with him, there is a group called Working Group at SVBF. They meet every Saturday or alternate Saturday and engage in these type of activities around the temple premises, right? Like cleaning the temple, picking up garbage, and planting trees, planting lawns, flowers, flower beds, and all of that. So that's totally transformed. The fourth one is about, go back. Yeah. We have run, as part of Environment Action Group again, we have run a lot of DIY, do-it-yourself workshops at SVBF. Couple of them that I can remember are like, we ran sessions where a lot of people came together. They brought the flyers that come to your homes. Like every Thursday, there are a bunch of flyers that get dropped. So we asked people to bring those flyers to the temple, to the community hall. And then we sat and we looked at a YouTube video on how to make paper bags. It's very simple. And we got a glue that we made out of the flour, white flour. And we didn't use the plastic glue or the commercial glue. We used the biodegradable glue that we can make at home. And then we actually made these paper bags, dozens of them, and we left them at the temple for people to use when they come and pack flowers or fruits from the temple. So that's one thing we did. And we also ran some sessions on how you can recycle old clothes and also old upholstery, right? I mean, usually the trend that we see here is that we throw away the upholstery when that gets damaged a little bit, but there are ways that you can fix it. Your sofas and your dining table chairs, it's very simple to fix, provided you take the time. So if you are interested in DIY, and there are two benefits. One, it saves, it protects the environment. You don't add to garbage. Number two, it also helps you save a lot of money. So if you're interested, contact us and we will teach you. There are so many other hacks. And the last one is on garbage collection drives. And this is again a bi-weekly or a monthly event that we do. We go around the temple picking up garbage. And like every time we go, we pick up at least a couple of bags, like of big bags of garbage. And this is another area where you can actually contribute and help. So the ask to this group of all of you as youth who are participating in this camp, come forward, contact us. There are a lot of avenues in SVBF alone for you to be participating, and you get volunteering hours, you get practical experience, and together we can make a difference. One more. Okay, there was one more. Okay, so there is I mean, this is probably the most challenging one. You might have seen whenever we have events at SVBF, we use disposable dinnerware, disposable plates, disposable cutlery, largely made out of plastics, right? And we have been consciously trying to move away from that. We are trying to use biodegradable material like paper material, paper spoons, but it is still not caught up. There are various challenges. We'll speak about that. But whenever possible, do promote biodegradable. And we are also looking at using silverware, moving to silverware in the temple for temple events, where we will use steel plates or silver plates. And then the picture that you see there is that of actually a commercial dishwasher, because one of the challenges that comes with silverware, you got to clean them. So the temple has been they have invested in buying a commercial dishwasher, and that you just load the dishwasher and it cleans it for it. So that's a first step that the temple has taken in order to promote the use of reusable stuff. So these are some of the stuff that we are doing now. It's not without challenges. The challenge has been participation from a broader, of course, we have a small group of people that are enthusiastic, but participation from the broader community is still lacking. So we want all of you to come forward and promote that. And we want good ways of tracking, right? One of the things is that how do we track whether we are making progress, and how do we measure our reduction? So today I've got some ideas, and I will not reveal them, but just one clue is about, one measure is about the carbon footprint. We can start measuring what is our SVBF's carbon footprint, okay? And some of the ideas like the using biodegradable and silverware, I mean, the challenge that comes with it may be a little bit expensive compared to the cheaper options that are available through plastic, but we got to bite that bullet, right? And the other thing is not to just stop with what we are doing at SVBF community, but also continue to do that at home, or vice versa. You start it at home, and then you bring that idea to SVBF, right, to the community. And then all of this will need a mindset change. We cannot take shortcuts. I mean, this is a pain that we got to solve. So, or rather a problem we got to solve. So obviously it will come with some pain. We cannot expect to do the same thing that we were doing before and then promote sustainable culture. We have to put up with hardships. For example, remembering to carry cloth bags every time we go to the temple, remembering not to ask for plastic bag, which is the easier option. And buying more expensive, maybe a little bit on the expensive side, biodegradable material. Those are some hard decisions that we have to make in the larger interest of the community, larger interest of the planet. So I'll take a pause here. I'll see if Anup, if you want to chime in and probably add something more to it, and then also finish these ideas for future if you can.
Thanks, Sriram. So first of all, I think the presentation is well put together. So thanks to you and your daughter, Jayashree. I think you covered it pretty well as to what we're trying to do at SVBF. I would just touch upon a topic that have been on my mind, like when I'm listening to you, which is like the mindset change. So I think, as humankind, we are at a stage where we have solutions, right? Solutions for pretty much everything that we need. But the problem is the mindset change. So I think as people, we are always used to buying things which are cheap and convenient. So how do as humankind can move from being cheap and convenient to something that is sustainable and having a better impact to Mother Earth? So that's what I think we need to look at. Of course, the challenge is those things are currently expensive and maybe not as convenient. But whenever you're buying new things or looking for looking to take travel or whatever it is, right? Planning events, I think there are always alternatives that you can look at. If you are willing to take that step to be sustainable, there are always options. So I would really encourage everyone to just keep that on your be the top of mind, like, let sustainable living be top of your mind, so that you can always think of that aspect whenever you're buying or whenever you're taking a step. I would really suggest that. So let's move from being cheap and convenient, and whatever sustainable options that we currently have, over time, if we, as consumers, we have power. So if we start using those will become cheap and convenient and also sustainable. So that's what I would really encourage everyone to look at. But yeah, just being part of this event, I was supposed to be somewhere else, but thankfully, and I was able to make it to this event. So I'm really glad that you've put together, and a lot of people are able to exchange ideas. So I'm really glad to be part of this. So thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Anup. So there are a lot of ideas that we have at SVBF from a sustainability standpoint for the future. At some point in future, we can switch to solar energy today. We use electricity for our heating and lighting needs at the temple. Solar energy is definitely more sustainable. Recycling of water within the temple, today we consume the water that comes from the corporation, but we can recycle water for gardening and washroom needs. And then using biodegradable dinnerware, we have already taken the first step. And then other thing, very interesting, how can we promote ride share with all the technology that we have at our disposal? There are apps available. Have we ever thought about carpooling whenever we come to the temple on weekends or for events, rather than everybody taking their own cars, right? So those are some, and with ride share, how do we make it massive, right? How do we do it at scale? So those are some of the ideas. And I'm sure, with fertile minds like yours, there can be a lot more ideas that you can bring to the table. So again, I close this session by encouraging you to be very active with the Environment Action Group and with SVBF. There are a lot of things that we can do together. It's fun when we meet on weekends and do this stuff. It also will sit well with your resumes when you apply to university and all of that. All these actions gives you practical exposure on how you can promote sustainability. Thanks so much for listening. If you have questions, I'm glad to take them.
Just a quick thought. So I'm just putting my contact number in the chat. So if you're ever interested in joining the EA group, or even within the construction group that we call as working group, you can contact me. So I'm just putting it in the chat. Thank you. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Sriramji and Anup. It was very, very useful. And we got to know so much of information about what's happening in the world globally from Professor Narayanan. But with you both, we got to know what is happening in our own community, which is more important. So theoretically, we get a lot of information to grab and then put them together in our essay presentations or debates or write-ups. But what we do practically for the community, giving back to the community in and around us, is actually that carries more value. And I hope our youth have caught up inspiration to do and work with you, and then they might come sometime, drop by SVBF to gain more information and to join free. Boys and girls, please contact these two important resourceful people when you visit SVBF. And I think it's very good to think about giving back to the community. Thing Anup's special quality I forgot to mention was he is a fantastic freelance photographer. You can take hints from that also about that also from him. So I just forgot about it. Sorry, Anup. Okay, so as Sriramji mentioned, as no, you deserve that. As Sriramji mentioned, feel free to ask questions in your chat, or as I said, email them at Spandana@gmail. Moving on, one topic, which is a small brief talk, our own Panaga, before the break. And after this follows a break where you all can stretch, take some water, have washroom break, and then come back to the concluding part of. So there's some more interesting work. You can pencil and paper, or be ready to type. Panaga Adiga, who is the organizer of Spandana Youth Empowerment Program since last year, She has taken up initiative to form this, and under the support of Sri Parambat and Ravi Shankar ji, and then all SVBF trustees. She has been volunteering at Kannada Sangha Toronto activities also for many years, and a parent volunteer at 540 Golden Hawks Air Academy, and also a youth mentor alongside Pratibha, who is working with kids for the youth newsletter program Jnana Parampara at SVBF. She's a software engineer by profession for over 20 years, and she's working as a software engineering manager at Capital One. So over to Panaga with her very again resourceful and then useful topic, which is very essential for today's youth, the critical thinking and benefits. Let's all learn from her. Panaga.
Thank you very much for the nice presentation, the nice introduction and nice presentation on the environment to Sri Ramji and Anupji. Thank you, Nanda. Moving on to the next topic, critical thinking. Why do we need to even worry about critical thinking? Critical thinking is needed, necessary to understand and analyze facts. For example, if you want to take on one of the initiatives that was mentioned in the environment, for example, you want to think of what is causing the problem, why is it, why sustainability is important. And if you want to go why, so how do you think of what is the problem now, right? Now you have a big picture of understanding what the problem is. And then you have to, next step is try to find solutions to solve the problem. And how do you collectively gain that information and understanding, collect and listen to the data? That is the course of what we want to work on or think of from critical thinking point of view. And I would like to also say that critical thinking goes hand in hand with problem solving and innovation. Ananda Aunty is going to talk about innovation very soon. We as humans have this brain power, is very sophisticated engine that if we use it, it's going to be very good for us going forward. Sorry, I was just reading a message here. So critical thinking, why is it important? It helps to improve your decision making. It enhances problem solving capabilities. It improves and refines your research skills. So you have a lot of projects that you work on. So you will be able to look at refining those research skills, polish your creativity. So you have a lot of creativity, but then when you have a systematic way of thinking, then you would have a polished or more focused way of creativity. It stimulates curiosity. So when you start working on something, it will give you more and more tips and curiosity of how can I do that, and how, what will make it more useful, and how can I do it better. Those are some of the aspects of critical thinking. And moving on, we want to look at what are the facts or skills that I need to develop for critical thinking. So I need to be able to observe things. So observation becomes an important aspect of this. Ability to notice and predict the opportunities. So if you're more observant and see the opportunities, then more likely that you will be able to look for a problem and try to find a solution. And then analysis is the second thing. So you have the information, now you have to analyze what is the problem, for which you will start gathering more data, interpreting the data, understanding from different people's perspective, and getting more information. So once you gather the information and do the analysis, then you want to inference, drawing to conclusion based on what you heard, based on what you saw, based on different people's perspective, because maybe you didn't see the whole picture. Get the input from different angles and different people's point of view, will give you a wholesome overall understanding. Also, personal knowledge and experience can come into play in in the inference part of critical thinking. Now, communication, we will soon talk about communication when we talk about problem solving in the next session. But communication, as Uncle Lakshmananji mentioned earlier, is very important, and it's a very wide topic. So you are communicating verbally, person face to face. You will be communicating on the email. So does the email communication has all the information that you're really trying to portray of what you have to the other person? If you're mass communicating to multiple people, is that information being perceived in the correct way, in the right angle that you're talking about? So there's a lot to consider when you're doing communication. And one of the aspects of communication is listening. When somebody is telling us, we have to listen. We have to just let go of everything that we have in running in our minds, and we'll have to sit and listen. What does that do is, one, we show respect to the person who's talking, as well as it will also ensure that when you're listening to somebody, you get their perspective correctly. You're not thinking of something else. What should I say next? Oh, I saw this and this doesn't make sense. Or thinking of something totally different. If you're listening, put everything down. Don't look at your phone and look at their eyes and listen to what they're saying. You will grasp a lot of information, because a lot of this message is not just in words. It's about the expression that the person is trying to portray or communicate back to you. So listening is a very important skill. And then problem solving. So come back with all the information you have collected so far, collect the group or the team that you're working along with, gather all the information, and then come up with categories of what worked, what didn't work, what is the advantages, disadvantages. Is this important for us? Is this not, not so important, but we'll have to consider. So all these things you'll have to bring together and then solve the problem, come up with a solution to that problem. And then we'll talk about implementing the problem a little later. But this is the kind of steps, thinking that goes on along with the critical thinking aspect of the critical thinking. And there are multiple things on the skills that we can talk about. Thank you very much for listening. Back to you, Nanda. Okay, so yeah, back to you, Nanda.
Okay, so that was quick, but a lot of input in there, and I hope a lot of hints have been given towards critical thinking. And the next topic, which is innovative mindset, is closely connected to this, but it is a little bit different, before which we shall have a break, right, Panaga?
Yes.
So that everyone can just get up, because I know it is confined to the seats. It's hard with virtual sessions, so we need some break, right? So everyone, please do not go away, but just take a 5-minute break and we'll get back again.
I think we request everyone to be back on time at 11:10 so that, they're back on track. Please be on time and punctual. Thank you.
Nanda. innovation ge nanu introduce madla ninna.
Yeah, I think
Or
I'm
Pratibha.
fine.
Maybe I'll ask Pratibha. Pratibha.
Then did she go on break? So we have that one, which is quite brief, and then another one, Shanti Mantra, and then we have some closing comments and announcements about tomorrow, right?
Yes, that's right. So timing wise, we are okay.
Yeah, because it was wrapped up, I think, early. Did you miss out any slides? Or you got complete time?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we're good. Came out good. Did I rush too much?
Not really. No, were you like too conscious about the clock, running behind the clock? I hope not. It was a short one, but I think it was, we have
I will elaborate.
Combined lot of
I will elaborate on,
things.
On that when I talk.
When you talk about problem solving skills, right?
Yeah.
That should be good.
So Pratibha, ನಿಮ್ಮ ಹತ್ರ ಇದು ಪ್ರೋಗ್ರಾಮ್ ಶೀಟ್ ನಲ್ಲಿ ನಂದ ಅವರದ್ದು ಮೆಸೇಜ್ ಇದೆ.
Yes, I have it, Panaga. I'm opening that.
Handy. Okay.
Nothing much to say, so just one sentence. What I am achievements, nothing done in life.
Yes, Ayo Nanda. I'm pulling out that.
Sorry, on the video, Narayananji video, for some reason everything was going behind.
No, something it blurred the vision actually with some bluish tinge in the beginning for the first 3 slides. That's all. But afterwards, I think you managed to take it away, right? Yeah.
I think the whole
trying a few things
coming out so well. It's coming out really well. Chanag Bartide, I think we are almost on time.
Yeah.
I really wish the video could be on so we could see the interaction of the kids, how they are responding to what they are listening.
Can you ask them to?
I shall ask them once I start the topic. I need them to. There is a little bit of interactive thing in my topic. After a while, half of it I am going to talk, but later on I just show them some slides where they can read the questions by looking at them, but they can answer. I would really welcome if it takes a little more, because we are not running behind. That would drag the topic a little more, but I would still prefer if youth can unmute and answer those. It's all fun filled. It's very easy. There's nothing serious.
Pratibha, there is nothing shy here, so they have to. It's better they are on the video.
Correct. And I think also
it's very hard to look at the blank screen and talk.
That's why I tried to be a little,
don't be nice.
Speaking many times like a broken record, but now I think we need to insist saying that please, because that's the only way we get a feedback from them, by looking at how they are responding to. It shouldn't be that they are forced to sit here because their parents signed up. They are on mute and video off and we don't know what they're doing. It's
very true.
You guys take a break as well. Quick water break. So Panaga, I'll go next after this, introducing Nanda.
Once Nanda comes back, you can start.
Sure. So I'll start with introducing Nanda.
That's right, yeah.
Okay.
All right, guys. Hope you're all back from your water break. Okay, Pratibha, all yours.
All right, thank you. Thank you all. Welcome back again. So as the session is getting, we want to really see how you are interacting. We want to make it more interactive, not one way, Nanda, myself, Panaga, Sriram, or Anup speaking. We want to see and hear your reaction. One way of getting a feedback from you is seeing your expression. So please turn on the video. Now I insist, I think, because we would love to see, what you think about it, how you're feeling. We don't want to be one of those kids where your parents forced you and signed you up, you're on video off and mute and playing a video game. No, we have put a lot of effort to make this workshop happen despite our work schedule. So we would appreciate if you could turn the video on, please. And thank you for those of you who turned on the video. And those who can't, who have technical issue, please drop us a note so we know. Cool. And before I start, really thanks for turning on the video. We appreciate it. And no one here to judge, what you're doing, what you're wearing. It's just a community of people whom we all know. We have met each other in different forums. We come together. That's the most important thing. We are not here to judge on what you're doing, what's your backdrop. No, that's not the intention. Cool. Not speaking much, coming back to our, Jnana Spandana program, I would now love to introduce Nanda Venkat. Most of you know her. You have met her over, through, many years of time. She is a well-known name and a person. She is passionate about various community initiatives. She has served at the Kannada Sangha Toronto as a part of the executive team. She has also participated and conducted the arts program and cultural performances. She is a mathematics and English instructor. She has over 20 plus years of teaching experience across multiple disciplines. She is passionate about educating and inspiring the young leaders of tomorrow. That's all you guys. And some of them are already, young adults who have evolved to young leaders. So in her free time, Nanda involves herself in cooking, art, learning, music, and leading yoga sessions for ladies in the community. And, to make this event happen, behind the scenes, she's put a lot of effort and a lot of dedication. So thank you, Nanda, for everything that you have done, not only for this session, but in the previous sessions and, all the previous years. So we greatly appreciate that. With that, I would like to invite you to lead your next session.
Wow, that was so much of appreciation and love shown towards me, and whatever littlest I could contribute to the community, especially to the youth that I'm focusing on. It is all because of SVBF Canada that has given me opportunity, and Panaga, who took me alongside her to be a team, and a guidance which was given, which is very valuable from Parambarji and then Ravi Shankarji, and now with you, Pratibha. So without doing much ado, let me start my topic, which is innovative mindset. I would like to have, I know a few people have written that their cameras don't work, which is very fine. You still can chat. You can write down in the chat line. And those who can speak, they can unmute and let me know the answers. Even if you say that together like it's in the classroom, sometimes a question is asked and you usually raise your hands, I wouldn't be able to concentrate on many windows where who raised their hands and who didn't. So feel free to type in the chat. Feel free to write on your own desks with a piece of paper or pencil. Some of the some little bit of fun-filled activities also involved in this topic, just to give a little twist. Although it is a topic of much seriousness to put into and a lot of thoughts to put into and consider it quite seriously, but I wouldn't go with too much of seriousness. As the day progresses, we are having summertime and we need some fun too, so I just thought of giving it a lighter side of it. Okay, so what is being innovative? Innovative is to think of new ideas or improving the existing methods which are already there. An innovative mind is always curious. I hope most of the youth here know what is Curious George. It's a show, it's a famous show where a little monkey is playfully curious, always eager to learn things, inquisitive, but it runs into trouble, which I don't want to recommend. Innovative people generally have forward thinking, they are ready to experiment, do not fear mistakes, they collaborate well with others, and aim to create a big impact on the world by trying something new or making things look better than before. So, I have to mention one young guy's name who is Anirudh Gurur. I think I'm right. He said that he is jack of many activities, but not yet a master on any one particular hobby or a skill. Never mind, you're not too late. And so the same thing goes to many other youth here who haven't spoken that way, but you might be knowing your skills. You might not have properly channelized them. So how to be innovative? Here are some quotes which are easy to understand by famous resourceful people. First, it's Albert Einstein, whom we all know. He said that it is insane to expect different results doing the same thing over again and again, which means what? The same good old method. You see a YouTube recipe, how to prepare vanilla ice cream. For example, I'm just taking an example. So give a twist to that when you try second time. First time, it's very brand new to you. You don't know how to, and then you're just starting, collecting materials, what are required, and starting up the process. Once you get hand over it, we don't stick to the same thing. If we do stick, max something might go liquidy, something might go a little bit hard, the method is just the same. So how do you expect different results? Only by giving some twist to the existing method. So that's the meaning. That is innovation. And there's another quote: creativity is thinking up new things, but innovation is doing it, like doing new things. So that's the difference. And let me go to the next. Now, various examples of innovation. Then if you would like to know more about innovation, what is it all about? It is becoming Albert Einstein? No. Is it so that a second quote which was given by Theodore Levitt is an American economist. So do we study economy? No. So the oldest innovation that humans have come up with, can anybody tell me by looking at the diagrams here? So it was the use of fire. So this I'm talking about the cave age of human beings, when man existed on earth and started to, began his life on earth. The innovation of fire led to many other applications since then. He learned how to cook instead of eating raw, making tools, sharpening the tools, protect him from extreme cold, protect him from predators and enemies, and have some light during the dark. So many innovations came up because of the first innovation, which is the use of fire. Imagine how a cookie was made first time. We know how different types of cookies now. Feeling hungry probably when I mentioned cookies, sorry about that. It is said that gingerbread man was made first around 2500 BC in Greece by Greeks. It could have been just an experiment, who knows, by extra roasting of piece of dough while they were creating dough in fire accidentally. So some cases are accidentally done, some are taken up with great interest and focus from the regular pathway. So it's always not so good when you're going on trekking to go sideways, but sometimes it is really good to experiment. Instead of going the same way and coming back the same way, you can take a twist. You can see what's there. So that inquisitive should be there, inquisitive nature should be there. Of course, with proper thought and guidance and research, well done research through that, where you couldn't go wrong then. The telephone or the speaking telegraph was invented by Alexander Graham Bell. I'm just moving the cursor. So to show the third right extreme one, so it created a revolution in the world, making direct communication possible. Imagine one person sitting on one corner and then in one corner and talking to a person on the other side of the globe, 12 hours apart, 10 hours apart. So that's how we communicate with our folks in India, where now it is getting to be dark, going to the sleeping time, bedtime for them. But it is so easy. Just dial the number and you get the person in contact. Did you know that Thomas Edison, though Graham Bell invented the phone, Edison was credited with having introduced hello as a telephone greeting for the first time. So that hello started and paved way in all these years, turning out the phone, what we used to have before. If you get to see the old pictures, that's even wonderful, how big and heavy the phone used to be. And now it has become a smartphone. How smart it is, because we have a calling and texting machine in it, a clock, a health monitor, a camera, a gaming device, and whatnot. Gaming device rings the bell, right? So yeah, many of the youth, when they get bored, when it is shopping, when it is traveling, so the attraction is so much now. So phone is essential device for all these purposes actually. So imagine how amazing the path has been for the phone. Consider penicillin, which is the middle one, the picture, the guy sitting there, who is Alexander Fleming, who made a huge difference in the field of medicine world by killing inhibitor bacteria and saving human cells. And this was a revolution over antiseptics, which used to kill even healthy human cells around the infected area. Whereas antibiotics now, for any severity of a disease, antibiotics are there to protect the people, otherwise who used to die even with the smallest kind of contaminations or diseases. The compass, which was invented by China in 12th century, paved way to marine transport, astronomical innovations, and many, many scientific discoveries. So it was such an age-old innovation, but now it has moved to a navigating system, which you call GPS, without which we can't imagine driving to different places, especially when it is the first time drive. The electric bulb by Thomas Edison gave light to the world. One cannot imagine a house without lights. Steam engines, printing press, many, many more innovations, so to say, we can talk about it whole day actually, have made a world a better place, have created revolution in different fields, have helped us make our life comfortable and easier and function better. In today's world, humans have created thousands of innovations in computers, nanotechnology, robotics, medical science, artificial intelligence, and they have created smart machines everywhere, not just a smartphone, smart TV, smart. So everywhere they perform human tasks very efficiently, right? So we have machines replacing people. Now, man is replacing another man with the use of a machine. So, is it a quality by birth one must inherit? Can I be an innovator? It might be a question that has come up in your mind. Oh, these are all great people. Good to know. Good for them. So, can I be one? or you have to have that in genes, inbuilt genes already, you know, in the DNA makeup? The answer is no. Any common man can be an innovator. But innovation is a long process. It's the key to excel and succeed in life for sure. But with continuous practice, it needs a lot of focus, lot of continuous practice, proper use of imagination, channelizing the brain to one direction where you have to put good thoughts and then put all your efforts sincerely. Have patience. So then you can develop what is called innovation quotient of the human brain. So says the book. It's said in the book, The Innovator's DNA. And there are 3 authors who have written this book, and it was actually written in 2011. And this was one of the best-selling books that year. So you can get this book from Amazon or in any libraries. It's a very interesting read, though I have not completed the book yet. It's very interesting. So start then. How am I supposed to be innovative? Start getting innovative. You know what? It is not too late. At least myself, if I consider another organizing teammates here, we are at least at the middle age. But you guys, boys and girls, you are all so young. So there's a saying, catch them young and coach them well, you know. So you can get coached, you can encourage yourself, get motivated to enhance the potential of your brains to the maximum, because you're still young. The brain is so fresh and active. So with good practices for years, a couple of beneficial tools that help to become innovative, becoming innovative, is to solve riddles, brain teasers, go for Lego blocks. Do not, first you can try what is given in the model on the front cover. Try doing something else. Give a twist again to your thoughts. It might be a Lego ship. Build something else out of it. So these blocks are not to be designed, and the ship doesn't have to be kept as a model on your desk or somewhere as a display piece. Just take out all the blocks again, assemble them into something else. This is a food for thought and putting it into action. So STEM toys, the science toys, what I mean, the regular toys are always there, crossword puzzles, and many, many more. Now it's time to have some fun. Please unmute and read out the answer if you want, or write the answers. That's fine by me. So let's get into some riddles. As you can see, if you have not heard my talk so far, gotten into this riddles directly by this time, you have answers with you. It is as light as a feather. I'm just giving a few examples because these were the riddles, like such riddles. We grew up with so many riddles, of course, in Karnataka, in Kannada, but every community, every country has, locally or made up all these over the ages. Our ancestors have given, big bundle of inheritance through these kinds, which need not be ignored even now. It sharpens the brain, of course. It is as light as a feather, but the strongest person cannot hold it for more than 5 minutes. What is it? Of course. And yes, I can see many people. Yes, you're right. It is breath. Many people have started writing on the chat line, which is so good. That means you're listening to me. Yay. So breath is the correct answer, which you cannot hold it for more than 5 minutes. Yes, let's get into next one. All right. What gets more wet while it dries? A towel. Yes, it's a very simple one, right? I wanted to give one simple thing so that I want to see how many write. My goodness, everyone is writing the correct answer. So it is so simple. That means you are all already smart enough. Okay, so pat your backs. What is full of holes but can still hold water? Good job, Utpaladi. Everybody, good. It is sponge. You are absolutely right. What travels faster, heat or cold? Come on. Okay, I get a couple of answers saying cold, but there is a funny twist to it. Sometimes we think too seriously, right? We overthink. It is actually heat. Why? Because we can catch cold. You know what I mean? We can catch cold. We can get cold. But heat is something that escapes. So we can't. Heat is the one which travels faster. That's funny. Now you can also have some rhyming pairs like this in English. So English language is again very rich. and at the same time it is so fun if you focus on the fun part as well. Learning is always there, but do have fun time also. Then it makes the learning process smooth and easy, and you will be wanting to do more. So these words are given in a jumbled way, but your brain is good enough to put it in a proper order, and then you get a rhyming pair. So did you get the answer? First, what is the first pair? It's wonder and thunder. So it's just, unscramble them. Second one, anybody? Bear and share. So there are many, which are these two are very simple. Actually, as you go into high school and further, you can actually find there are many books based on this. There are many internet websites also where you can solve such word associations. They are called, and then you put them up as rhyming pair or something else. Proper word, meaningful, which turns out to be meaningful. Math puzzles also are very interesting. So using only addition, how do you use 8 eights to get 1000? This, I'm just taking random examples, guys, because it is such a vast topic. If I start talking about the riddles and brain teasers, you can solve whole day. So 8 eights to get 1000. You can write down in the chat line. You can write in the WhatsApp chat of Jnana Spandana also later. I would definitely welcome all of you to think about it. So should I show it how? Then I can show, but you can even solve it. One of you have written in the chat line, excellent, 888, 888 plus 88 plus 8 plus 8 plus 8. You are doing just addition. So this is the answer. Yes, so many of them have got it, so we don't have to wait for the WhatsApp chat. Yes, it is right. And do not feel bad if you have not been able to think quickly, before which your friends, other youth wrote the answers. You're always supposed to have a feeling that I can think, I can do. Then that is the initiative that is to be taken by any innovator, whoever wants to be an innovator. First thing is to have confidence in yourself. Some are slow, some are fast. That doesn't matter. There are some picture puzzles like this in the right side of this slide. Spot the difference. Find 10 differences between two pictures. This kind, I think, definitely by this time in this age, you might have come across such picture puzzles many times. Spot 20 differences. As you start these, pick up more and more harder ones. Out of 10, even if you solve like 7 or 8, you should feel good about it. So these are the trees in the bag. Exactly, there are many. So the third tree, there is a tree here missing. I would not go and solve this because it would take up the presentation time. There is a rock. Exactly, many people are writing the answers. I'm so happy. Pranav, Ananya, Manish, yes, everyone. And the fire hydrant, you see the top of the fire hydrant is missing. There's a squirrel here which is not here in the first picture. Dog's tail is black. Yes, Arangan, black in the second picture. So wonderful, guys. I may not be able to call out all of your names who have been writing here. Do not feel bad. I'm really sorry. But these are all, yes, Pratibha, they are very good observations. I'm so glad, and big cheers to you that you're working on this and taking this seriously. So try this, because this is just, I'm talking in a minute or so, I'm just moving, and Panaganti will be moving the slide. Try these. You have holidays, right? All day you don't have to play Roblox or video games, the shooting games or such other things, though you're interested in that. Soccer, basketball, have some multiple hobbies. When you are sitting inside, when it is raining or snowing, these come to help when you're really bored. So say the color of each word. Now these are called optical, these are particularly brain teasers actually. I'll come to the optical illusion later. See, the color is, it reads, but do not read the words. If I read the word, for example, I will be going horizontally: yellow, blue, orange, black, red, green, purple, yellow, red, and so on. Do not read like that. Say the colors fast. Green, red, blue, yellow, blue, black. See how slow I am, because your brain has to give the message. You see green word which is in black. So say the color. Attain speed. Do it differently. There are many puzzles like this. First time, always have one thing, a stopwatch or a time hourglass. So you check yourself how long you take. Each time, I bet you, if you try 10 times, you will get better. So that's a very good exercise to test yourself. Your memory gets sharpened the more you do this, your focus, your concentration, etc. Many things, multi-folded advantages. Try finding 10 hidden objects in this busy picture now. My picture is glared, probably it has to, enhance, but I'm just giving this as an example. You can find many over the internet. They have given these objects. You see, I'm just touching the couple of exams in this, like cherries in the top of the house like this, the cake house, what I see, donuts, you can see somewhere spot here, the lollipop somewhere else. So it's a very busy picture, but you can slowly, so lollipop is here. So something like that, okay? And then how many legs does this elephant have? This is a good example of optical illusions. There are many examples of optical illusion with respect to flowers, fruits, and animals, and sometimes mathematical numbers. They are hidden and they are deceiving because it depends your right side of the brain is more active or the left side, and accordingly you see different people see different numbers, and that's illusion. And finally it turns out to be one particular answer. Suddenly, if you look at this, for example, you may feel that there are 5 legs, 1 2 3 4 and then 5, but it is actually 4. It's an illusion. It is basically just 4, just like any elephant has. So this is illusion, optical illusion, a good example. There are, I can give only these as examples, but there are many, many more. Go on internet from, yes, Adi Kumar, it is not 5 because yes, we all, if fall for, we get deceived for the illusions. That's why it's called illusion. It deceives you. So when you focus and concentrate more, the more you solve these kinds, it enhances your capacity of thinking, widens your focus. So there are few books that I would like to mention, which are fun and inspiring to read. They are on Amazon available, and it's not expensive also, like The Fantastic Elastic Brain. Okay. And one more I had somewhere, I had written down, I think, How Full Is Your Bucket? So yes, that's also a very, very wonderful book, like good read, filled with a lot of fun. So let me summarize now. To be innovative. So I think you all might have now felt good about yourselves, which is really good, which is my motto for today. Feel confident, and then stay courageous, be curious, be empathetic, be playful, play around, as I said, not just with Lego blocks. So there are a few children who just play the car, moving it up and down, little children. There are some kids who turn the car upside down, unscrew, and start doing something else. I know the parents also have concern because they have purchased the car, toy, and they have paid money for it, and they feel this is going towards destruction. Sometimes, yes, it does. But after many times of playing, when the usage is all done, it shouldn't be limited. Start experimenting. So never fear to experiment, but of course with proper thought process, proper research. Experimenting is not just jumping into river to see how deep it is. That is foolish. There is difference between foolishness and experimenting. So think big, think out of the box, think smart, widen your imagination, get creative, break the monotony, the same good old method, act fast. If you think and plan and just jot down the points and keep doing that, you will be doing that only. But for doing all this, as you know, you need to be healthy physically and mentally, right? So eat well, eat consciously, eat healthy, and do exercises, any kind of exercises. Get into sports activities. Yes, your moms and dads are right. I'm also one of them. Not glued to the screen always. Yes. So physically and mentally. Then be open-minded to changes. What I said, experimenting. Use your brain efficiently. So be an innovator, not an imitator. Finally, somebody does, so just copying. You don't have to do that. You be what you are and feel confident what you have done. So everybody is unique. Everyone has a unique brain. Just the thing matters is how you use it. So at the end, I would like to conclude with a beautiful proverb, which is in the last slide. Panaga?
Yep.
Yeah. So it says, when the winds of change blow, some people build walls and others build windmills. Do you understand? This is a very, very ancient Chinese proverb. So when something comes as a change, many people just try to be defensive, protecting, going away. Oh no, this is something that we don't know. We don't want to do this, escaping. So some others make use of the very wind, which is blowing very well. The direction has changed. Why don't we utilize, install windmills and use the wind energy? This is not just to do with windmills that you see outside. This has a deep inside meaning. Whenever there are changes, experiment, adapt, be creative, and make use of the change. Do not get sad or depressed that something didn't work out. Try again. So saying, I would like to thank Jnana Spandana team for giving me this opportunity to talk on this topic. I hope it was pretty useful and entertaining too to all of you. Thanks once again. And should you have any questions and any topics to chat with me, please ask questions on the WhatsApp chat or the chat right now. Thank you.
That was a wonderful, wonderful session we had on innovation, Nanda. Thank you very much. And you have a lot of books that you suggested. And can I request that at some point you share with us the books we will share the books that you mentioned in the Jnana Spandana WhatsApp group so that kids can come back and look at them when they have a chance.
Okay, let me do that because it was a quick run through in this presentation. Not everything will be memorized or remembered, right? So that's fine. I can do that, whichever suits this age. And as you grow, you can get into harder type of books as well. So I'll do that. Thank you. And also, if any website is interesting, so they can do more of these kind of brain teasers, riddles. I'm pretty sure these were very simple. I didn't want to pose big challenges in this and make them feel really, bad. So next coming up is again over to Panaga. She's going to deal with a wonderful topic, problem solving, which is a very helpful tool. We should all have that skill, right? So problem solving skills is a very interesting topic, which is going to be now given by Panaga. Over to you.
Thank you, Nanda. And just for the record, I was not good at solving some of the riddles you had. Our kids were much better than me. And that was very nice. You guys all hear me okay? All right. Yeah, so I'm enjoying these topics today. We had a continuity from critical thinking and innovation, and they're so useful and meaningful and make sense in this when you go to school and do your projects and try to solve so many different puzzles and riddles. It makes sense to have that critical thinking mindset and innovative mindset as well. And when you're at it and you're thinking of solving the problems, let's kind of understand how we get there and a little bit of technical aspects of problem solving in a way, techniques and phases of problem solving. So what are they? One, we have to think of when we are trying to solve a problem, we want to think of framing the problem. You have to have the right mindset to formulate what the problem is. When a problem arises, a few things can happen. Your mind would say, I don't want to solve this problem and walk away. Or it becomes a blaming mindset. Oh, this problem is because of you and you shouldn't have done that. But the reality is the change is ever happening. There's always change. There's always things that come and go and they don't stay the same all the time. So having that right mindset to say, yes, things happen. What is the problem? What is the cause of the problem? Understand the root cause of the problem. Analyze with the root cause, finding the root cause of the problem, find a solution collectively to that problem, and then act, which is action on implementing and deciding the solution, and whatever solution was decided, act on implementing that solution to completely resolve the problem, which is what you're trying to do. Oops, sorry. All right, so what are the other things that we want to keep in mind when we are doing, when we are framing and listening? Is listening, we kind of talked about it earlier. So what is important is to listen and define the problem, come up with a problem definition. You ask people who are experiencing the problem or saw what happened, or who are in the process or may have some insight to it, some experience or some knowledge towards it. Get all that information, listen, be present, understand what they're saying and say, is this what you're saying? And paraphrase it, rephrase what they're saying so that you understand exactly what the item is being told. And when you're talking, please don't interrupt, or please don't get distracted. This is very important to keep away your phone and other distractors so that you pay attention to what you're, to the person who you're talking to. Have empathy. Empathy to the person you're listening to means they're not just saying, they're just not talking, they have a feeling, they have emotions. And that problem would have caused them either money or time or pain of whatever sort. So have that empathy when you're talking and listening to somebody. That kind of gives you a good understanding of the entire scope of that problem. Look for the non-verbal communication. What do you see beyond what they're saying, beyond the words? How do they feel? And are they excited? Are they sad and morose? Or what is happening there? Non-verbal language, non-verbal facial expression, intensity of the tone, up and down of the voice. So listen to that and understand what is happening with that person, and that will help you define the problem better. Now, then once you have the information, then you have to analyze the information. You have to go deeper in saying, ask the questions like what, who, where, when it happened, how it happened, why it is happening. And there is a technique called the 5 whys, and this can be an annoying exercise for some, but when you use it in a constructive way, in a way that you're trying to resolve a problem, then this makes sense. Say, when you're asking, what is the problem? I have a headache. Why do you have a headache? Oh, because I slept late. Or I did not sleep well last night. Why you did not sleep well? Well, I felt thirsty and I kept waking up myself to drink water. Why were you thirsty in the first place? Well, I had a busy day and I did not hydrate myself enough. Why did you have a busy day? Well, I had too many meetings and I didn't. So, you keep asking that a few times. The 5 times you ask the why, you get explanation and explanation, and now you know that you had a busy day, you did not hydrate yourself well, and that made you thirsty all night, and you kept waking up in the middle of the night to drink water, and you didn't sleep well, so you have a headache. So you know how to get to the root cause. So this is a very simple example, but you get the picture. So get to the root cause of the problem. And now you have gathered all the information. You have acquired the understanding of what that problem is. Now you have say you have a team or you have a group that you're trying to solve that problem with. There are multiple ways of solving that problem. And let's, the simple one that we potentially use in most cases is look at the advantages, look at the disadvantages. You're trying to find solution. Everybody is brainstorming. Let them brainstorm. Put everything in as a post-it notes or write it on a whiteboard, or it could be a online session that you can have, and there's several tools that are available. You can whiteboard, you can Jamboard using Google. So you put everybody's thoughts, and no thought is a wrong thought or a bad thought. Even though that may not be the right solution, that may trigger somebody to come up with some other answer based on what they were thinking and improvise. And that will potentially be a good solution. So when you're brainstorming, you let everybody put everything. There's no bad answer, bad suggestions. Put together, and now you keep categorizing it. Is it an advantage or disadvantage? Is it good to do, not good to do? And there could be multiple answers, and you talk through with your team members and come up with a better understanding of what they're thinking, because some people may have experienced something else which you think is an advantage may end up being a disadvantage. So having an open mind during the discussion is very important when you're having a decision-making session. Now, there are other things like decision metrics, and this is slightly advanced. But what this is saying is, you may want to, for example, you're trying to build a product or build a small bridge, a project, right? And you're trying to build a small bridge as part of the project with ice cream sticks, for example. So you want to say prototyping, should we prototype, should we not? Are we collaborating? Do we set up a channel, a Slack channel, a Hangout channel so that we can collaborate well, or should we meet up? How important is the collaboration? Should we meet up? That means that takes time, that takes some asking the parents to take you around. But how important it is. Now we can do it online as well. We can do on the Zoom. So, maybe collaboration can be a 3. Prototyping, yeah, it's important. If we don't prototype and we just go with it, we may end up having a bad design to begin with if we have not thought about it. So yeah, it's slightly important than collaborations. And you weigh it as number 4. And then cost, yeah, I have to think of cost because I don't have too much money. Let's think of cost. And then the other factors that you want to think of is, do we want to, there are other tools that I have put here, but it can be any other factors that you can see. And you can now use the weightage that you have assigned into the metrics and see what that number gives you. And that will give you an idea of how important, whether you need to focus on it or not, prioritize it or not, or should I approach with a sketch or a Figma or a Framer? Which tool is better, like which is cheaper and which one is more important for me? And looking at the score, a grand total of the score and comparison will kind of give you a better understanding, a better picture of which way or which direction you want to go. This is one other thing that I came across, and on the booklet, you can go through this, and I have shared the link to the document or the website that I went to, which is called the Untools. Has a lot of tools on decision making, problem solving. Go bonkers because it's so informative and I liked it very much. It talks about 6 thinking hacks. When you're discussing in a group and thinking with the team environment, imagine that everybody will now pick up a hat from the middle, a yellow hat, and kind of pretend you're wearing that yellow hat. And then everybody think in a positive way. If I do this, what are the benefits I will get? So all the positives you can think of, list all the positives. Now, imagine you bring down the yellow hat and take on the green hat. Creativity. How can I improvise that? Can I make it better? Can I add something to it? Maybe it's something that I can really quickly do and I have an expertise for it. So something creative. So everybody talks something creative on that solution that you're providing. Take away the green hat, put on a red hat. How is that going to make me feel? How is that going to make my person who is going to use this, whatever solution that we are providing, how does that make them feel? So you talk about the emotions that can come around it. Maybe the maintenance of it, maybe doing it one shot is pretty good, but then how do you maintain it and sustain it going forward? All that emotions, when you think about it, make a list of that, put that red hat down, take the white hat. Is it rational? Is this doable? Is the data supporting it? Do we have the support of the community or the families to do it, or the school to do it? Rationalize with multiple different aspects and data to support objectively whether that solution is really going to be the right solution. And then put down your white hat, put on your black hat and say, what is the caution I should look at? What is the problems that we may face? Is there a weather problem that we need to be aware of? Does this work in all kinds of environment? What about small children around? And if that is going to cause any danger for youngsters or older people, elderly. All those kinds of cautions and watch out and negativities, and be sure that you are securing something that you're building safe so that it's not going to come crumbling down on people, that kind of thing. So now you take your black hat off, put your blue hat on and say, if you have to now build this, what are the processes we have to follow? Do we need to get approvals from people? Do we need to ensure that we time to time have a control to ensure that the progress is happening? So who does what? And is there one thing that needs to go before the other and there is no interdependencies? If I'm depending on you and you're depending on me and nobody's doing any work, like that kind of thing. So all the process and the controls and the tasks and the responsibilities, think about that from a blue hat perspective. You're just going to deliver it, you have to build it. Put all that weightage and perspectives together. And then you'll come up with the best possible solution, collectively agree on which approach and what solution to build. And then you try to action on it. So how do we build it? How do we implement that solution that we thought of and decided and discussed and put it on the whiteboard as this is the approach we are going to take. This is how we are going to resolve it. Actually go ahead and build it. Actually go ahead and do the work and implement it, for which now you're actually doing it. So it's a big task. Now you're breaking it down into smaller and much smaller tasks. Some tasks, as you can see in this picture here, the blue line, you cannot really cut that into multiple smaller tasks. Sometimes you, like the purple line, you can cut into smaller tasks, but not too much. But then there are other opportunities. You may see an option of going further, smaller and smaller, and break it down. What that will do is when you have to assign a task to a person, the smaller it is easy for them to get it done. Yes, it is done. Now it's like a building block. So person A will do one task, person B will do another task, and then on, and we have say 8 people, and we collectively build all these tasks, and then come in the end we put together. Sometimes you also want to think of, there are so many of these tasks. Some are nice to have, some are okay, yeah, nice to have, I don't need it now, but it's a beautiful thing if we can get to it. Some is yeah, we should have this, yeah, I think we should do this. But then there are some which You have to do this. You must do this. If you don't do this, then the whole project is of no use. So identify those and prioritize out of all the broken up tasks, broken down tasks here, the list to say 1, 2, 3, 4, which goes one before the other and one after the other. We'll look at the order, who is best suited and has the skills and talent to do which task. And if there is a interdependency, as we talked, I depend on you, you depend on me, nobody gets the work done. If there is that kind of a blockage that's happening, you resolve it. And as you start the work, you will find other obstacles and issues or impediments that you need to resolve. And there would be somebody who's a lead who can go around and look for those obstacles and help resolve those obstacles. Maybe some of them can be resolved, maybe not all, but at least when people communicate about, yes, I have a problem here, I need help, chances are you will have multiple people who are willing to help and or reach out to somebody who has the capacity to help. So have that communication open. So that's about the breakdown. And we had in other sessions in the past talked about the importance and urgency metrics, which is called the Eisenhower metrics. What this is to do is look at this metrics, the things that is important and very urgent, and there are things that is important but not very urgent. Those you can decide when to do it. If it is important and urgent, you'll have no choice but to do it now. It may not end up having a good quality because of the urgency and importance. But if it is important but not very urgent, then the quality and the thought process and the creativity can be very good. In that yellow box here, decide when to do it. Sometimes you have not so important, but it has to be done now and you're already working on something. Either you share the work or you delegate it with somebody, so that when multiple hands come together to solve that problem, which is urgent, then things can get done much faster in a better way. And there are things that are not important and not urgent. And we as humans, we tend to go in this box more often than not, watch TV, play a game, put off doing the homework and do some video games maybe, or something that is not very important, not very urgent, but we have a tendency to do that more often. But there's a caution, because how much time do you spend on this? And how much energy do you spend on this? And do you have enough time and enough energy to do the things which are in other boxes, other quadrants? That is very important to note. And if we are not careful in that caution area, we may end up doing all kinds of things which is not important, not urgent, not useful, and we just waste our time. And the time is gone and there's no energy left in the day for you to do anymore. So be careful about that. And that takes us to the end of the session for problem solving. And handing it over back to Nanda. Thank you.
That was so good, Panaga. The talk on critical thinking, as well as the problem solving skills and some techniques and tips. So I hope our youth will make the best use of all the presentations and topics dealt with today. To wrap up today's session, I would like to call upon Pratibha to give a talk on learnings from the Shanti Mantra. And before leaving, I would just ask all the youth to stay, listen to this topic, and also there would be some kind of announcements made about tomorrow's session also, and a few things that we need to let you know. All right. So Pratibha, first.
Thank you, Nanda. I know we are almost at the end of the session and it's lunchtime. I don't know how many of you would be hungry and sleepy or hangry. So I'll try to make this as interactive as possible because it could be a little esoteric. I'll try to make it as easy and comprehensible as possible. If you have any questions or doubts, you can always leave a question on the chat. We'll address that if time permits, or we'll definitely get back to you. So I'm hoping, or I'm guessing, you would have gone through the course note that was shared yesterday. So Shanti mantra. So I'm sure by just show of hands, you can virtually raise your hands using the option on Zoom. How many of you are familiar with the term Shanti mantra? Okay, that's really nice. A lot of you have heard it, so it makes it a lot more easier. Amazing. So Shanti is peace for those of you who are not aware. So Shanti means peace, and mantra, is like a prayer. So Shanti mantra is usually taken from Upanishad, but I'll come to that part in a bit. And it's a prayer to invoke peace, and it's usually chanted between a student and a teacher, which is set together. And it typically starts with Om and ends with Shanti repeated thrice. And you can go and refer to the notes. What's the reference why Shanti is repeated thrice? It's quite informative. Why there's a specific reason. Our ancestors knew it very well, and why they emphasized repeating it thrice. And zooming in on the first Shanti mantra today, we're looking at, it's called Sahana Bhavatu. And I would request all of you, I'm not sure how many of you are hungry and sleepy. I just want to make it more interactive. So if you could unmute yourself and chant along with me, that'll be really nice. And we can feel the power of the group chanting together. You can be in whatever position you are, whatever you're comfortable sitting, standing, it's up to you. So please unmute yourself and we can start chant this together. Okay, on a count of 1, 2, and 3. Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Saravavahai Tejasvina Vaditamastu Ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Thank you. If you could all mute yourself back again, please. So this Shanti mantra you would have come across, multiple occasions. For some of you, it might be the first time you might be listening. Nonetheless, quickly what it means is we pray to the divine Parabrahman to protect us. Bhavatu means Sahana. Sahana now means both. Saha means together. Bhavatu means we are praying to the divine to protect us. Imagine you are in a work group, your cohort, or with your buddies, working on a project, or with your teacher, learning something new. Imagine praying to the divine and asking, please protect us. And then Bhunaktu means enjoy. Imagine anything that you learn is fun. You don't have to concentrate, right? When you enjoy something, you pay attention naturally, and then you learn and you retain it naturally. So imagine a prayer where you're praying, let us do, let our learning be fun, be enjoyable. And then we also are saying, Sahaviryam Karavavahai. That means, may we put efforts together. So that means the effort should not just come from the teacher who is prepping for the lessons. Like in our case, the efforts should just not come from Panaga, Nanda, Sriram, Anup, myself, prepping for this workshop. It should also come from you guys. And I'm hoping that's happened, where you get to revise, you get to read through the material. So applying all this in your day-to-day interaction with your friends, with your project group, or while working with your teacher. So imagine where you put efforts, the teacher is also putting efforts, and you're enjoying what you're learning. And that means you don't have to, it becomes effortless. That means you retain it, you remember it, and then you apply it when needed. If you take down the notes and then you're not able to remember it when needed, it's of no use. It's the note that gets benefited, right? So I think here when we are praying, we're also asking, na aditam. Aditam means learning, and let whatever we learn be, bright and effective. So, and the most important of all, what I really like is, let us learn where there is no dispute or discard. And for a minute, I just want you all to visualize. Imagine you are in a work group, in a class, where there is no dispute. There's no dislike between your friends, where there's no dislike between you and the teacher, and everyone is enjoying the learning together. That would be so amazing, right? And it's like, then it becomes like playing a game. You're not putting any effort. You're not trying to memorize. You're not, struggling. It just becomes so smooth. Like it becomes one of your superpowers. Like as if you said, you're singing or drawing. It becomes as smooth as that. So I would say after this, take time, ponder upon it, and see how you can apply in your day-to-day world. How you can apply this with your friends, with all kind of interaction. And I have given, a lot of explanation is shared on the notes, so I'll not go to the details, but that's on a very high level on the Shanti mantra. And moving on to the next Shanti mantra, this is actually not from Upanishad. So I just want to call out that specifically. Typically, Shanti mantras are from Upanishad, but this is a universal peace mantra. And this is a very simple, but a beautiful verse. And our ancestors were so profound and so, inclusive in their thinking. Today, the key, the cool jargons are, at least in the corporate world, is diversity, inclusion. But our ancestors were so inclusive that they thought about the whole manifestation and wishing wellness and prosperity for everyone under this whole manifestation. And this Shanti mantra is called Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinaha. And here, I'm going to chant, and then I request all of you to repeat after me. I think the first one was a little, wasn't very smooth. So just taking the learning from that quickly. So I would say I'm going to chant, and then you can repeat after me. So please unmute yourself. Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinah. Sarve Santu Niramayah. Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu. Ma Kaschit Dukkha Bhag Bhavet. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.
Om Shanti Shanti.
So here in this, thank you all for chanting after me. If you could mute yourself, please. Thank you. So in this Shanti mantra, so it's a beautiful verse, a very altruistic verse, illustrating the idea of well-being and wellness, prosperity of everyone. And here, everyone just doesn't mean we as living beings. That includes stones, animals, plants, anything that you can comprehend, or that you don't know of, anything that exists within the manifestation. We are praying that, that let everything be auspicious. And sorry, Panaga, I think we move to the next shloka. So, and we're praying that let everyone be happy and let everyone be free from illness, and may all see goodness, and let there be no sorrow in this world. And imagine for a second or for a moment a life which is happy, and there's no one suffering. How beautiful that be. And imagine when you're praying, when you're chanting such a powerful prayer for the whole universe, you're also praying for yourself. So in this whole process, you're healing your own self and becoming very compassionate individuals, which we all need to be. So I'll not again go into the details, but then if you really want to wish well for your friends, for your siblings, for your families, for the whole community, society, this is one simple verse that you all can learn and practice. And moving to the last shloka of Shanti Mantra for today, I'll try to be quick, being mindful of the time. And I'm not going to chant this, but I will say this verse is a very, very powerful verse. It's extremely profound, but it's also a very big riddle to solve. And it's a riddle because you'll figure out why you think it's a riddle. It says, Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. So Purnam means completeness, whole. It's not the completeness what you and I think from a dictionary or from a translation perspective. It's the entire manifestation. It says that is whole, this is whole. That means that is complete, this is complete, and everything is perfect. And from that completeness comes completeness. So it's very confusing, right? It is, because we are not used to relating. Like first time I heard this, I was extremely confused. I was in your age and I was very puzzled. And that's what led me, question. And the best part of Hinduism is it encourages you to question everything. Don't accept because I'm saying so. Our scriptures are saying so. Question. And relating back to what Panaga Aunty just presented, why? Question everything, go to the source. And when you question everything, I'm hopeful the riddle will solve itself and you'll get to know what it means. So in short translation, it says, from the completeness comes this completeness. If you take away completeness, away from completeness, only completeness remains. That means you can't add or subtract because it's whole. It's like infinity. There is nothing beyond this, and everything exists within this. And this is the source of everything. And I know it's too much on you guys, but that being said, I want to leave the seed, I want to plant that seed and hoping that someday it germinates and where you question this. And if you have, any confusion, you can ask one of us. We'll try our best because it's not easy, but we definitely want you to hear this and it should not sound something new next time you hear. With that, I want to say thank you so much for listening. And I hope you can apply these Shanti mantras in your daily life and wish well-being for you and for all of us here and beyond. Thank you so much.
Back to you, Nanda.
Thank you, Pratibha. A lot of insight in this. And again, it is a very different topic from the other topics, actually, though you connected so well. But I think, yes, it is also one of the important things that we need to imbibe in our lives. I hope our youth would take the benefit of all these presentations, as I said before. And also, as we told you before, please put your input, your thoughts, your questions, your queries, and also your feedback, actually, which we didn't mention before. You all are old enough to express your opinion related to the programs here or the topics. It's not just the doubts that you would be having or could be having with respect to the topics, but any kind of questions actually. And also, please give feedback and do not hesitate if you really want to suggest something as well, as long as it is positively made. Your criticism will be definitely well received by all of us. We would definitely appreciate that. It is necessary for us also to improvise on our techniques and our sessions to a next level or the desired level, what our youth wants, because this program is for you by us. So it's mainly you who is supposed to be focused upon and then concentrated upon. So that's how we want you to be happy. If kids are happy, we are happy, right? So please do write your feedback, email, WhatsApp, or the email I think is best option because the session is going to get completed. Tomorrow's programs, Panaga, would you highlight a little bit on that, and then maybe we can just close the program, just going through the
Thank
events
you.
of tomorrow. Yeah.
Yes, sure. Thank you, Nanda. That was a very good Shanti Mantra session, Pratibhaji. Was very nicely done, and appreciate you taking the time. And I saw the information that you have written in the booklet, and it's very insightful and thoughtful. Yes, it is not very easy to understand, but that will not, I will still want to go ahead and learn more, and that will not stop me from understanding it more. And, I would encourage all our participants here to go through the books on all the topics that we have discussed today, so that it will give you a better understanding of the whole information that we shared, because we may not have discussed every pointers that is in the book, but it's a very thought of booklet that everybody put in so much effort to put it together. So, sorry. Moving on, we have interactive case studies coming up tomorrow. So we are talking about etiquette and good manners. We are talking about reducing your carbon footprint. We also have the festivals of India to discuss and talk about, so that you can share your thoughts with everybody. So it's a very packed, fun-filled day tomorrow. And if you have not had a chance to submit your worksheets, feel free to do that until the end of the day today. And we will make sure that you have a spot to talk about in tomorrow's case study sessions. Anybody wants to add anything? Pratibha, Nanda, Sri Ramji, Paramanna?
Yeah, Paramana might want to give some closing comments. I think so, Paramana.
Okay, I have nothing to add except to say it has been a fantastic program. I really like the mix of topics, and I am sure our youth will take away a lot of information from here, and they can work on it. No, I just want to thank everyone, all the presenters, especially Professor Narayanan, and all our local people. Thanks very much. As I put in the note, I wish it could have been in person, so we could have had much more active response. Anyway, we will do it one of these days. But thanks everyone, and all the youth, thanks for participating, and see you tomorrow. Nanda, you want to close? Anything else?
I think that's it, Paramanna. So we have interesting topics tomorrow as well, but more, as Panaga mentioned, more interactive sessions and case studies are the highlight of tomorrow's program. So case studies have already been given to you, and as Panaga said, there's still time for those who haven't yet. and be prepared. And we would definitely love to hear you talk about your own submissions. You could, whatever submissions you have done already, just go through them. And this is a nice platform, as for you to speak up, talk about what you have prepared, your thoughts about all those case studies that you have already submitted. Maybe a one-page presentation, 1 or 2 minutes. So I hope to see you in large number dealing with the case studies, and let's have more fun, more information, which are educative and interactive as well for tomorrow. And there will be some special announcements as well in the closing. So see you tomorrow, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you all. Have a good rest of the day. Bye.
Bye.